Yeah, look, these guys have themselves publicly admitted to participating in what very much appears to be soliciting, trafficking, preying upon women.
Okay, now that is a fact. They have said these things. They have made videos. They have potentially sold courses on how to get men to use the lover boy method to get women who aren't interested in doing OF type of content to do OF type of content. Unfortunately, you have so many conservatives and so many folks on the right that are saying it's a matrix attacks and they've done nothing wrong, and it's because they're, fill in the blank, fill in the issue that they're for. That's why the people are attacking them. When if you look at their own actual statements, they've said some rather incriminating things.
First, we have to understand exactly what they're talking about and what is the lover boy method. The lover boy method is something that somebody just made up and said, if you are nice to a woman and she ends up liking you, you can manipulate that to make her do as you please. Be nice to women in some type of way to come off as a nice guy. And then after you got them in the palm of your hand, you could kind of control them in a certain type of way. Let's say we grant that, and let's say we take that as a crime. When you get somebody to like you for whatever reason it is, and then you can use that to your advantage to get some type of gain for yourself. If that is a crime, then now we have to open the floodgates to everybody. It's women that go out here and they go on foodie dates and they don't really like to do it. They say, I'm just going to go and I'm going to just take his money, eat his food. A lot of women go after rich guys for whatever reason and try to bamboozle them out of some money and act like they like them. A lot of women are going out with guys that's 60 years old when they're 24 years old just to look for a sugar daddy and openly say this. This is not even a secret. So if that's the case, if the lover boy method, then you would have to say the reverse as well, right? The lover girl method. It would be all a crime, right? And women openly say this everywhere they go, if that is a crime. But the women that Andrew Tate convinced somehow to do something that is perfectly legal. This is even more weird. What he convinced them to do, it's perfectly legal. You can't go be a webcam girl. It's women nowadays that go out there and they be OF girls. Willingly and freely. He got girls to go do things that he wanted them to do, which is OF, but they both benefit. I mean, not OF, cam girls, and they both benefit from it. All those women were paid.
Things repeatedly.
Around the world, many of these victims coming forward, some of them minors, people can spin or defend.
Minor part I never heard of before. And it's funny because Candace Owens has a series going on now about Harvey Weinstein and about how that wasn't as the public made it seem. And people use things. Now, let's just say it was minors involved and he did some weirdness. Then once again, if they can prove that, then he deserved to be under the jail, right? And another thing that's funny to me, the woman that started this whole entire case with Andrew Tate, that woman was from Florida. The woman that lied and he has an open case on and all that. She's from there. A man ended his life because of her lies, of her saying that he did X, Y, and Z. And she embezzled so much money, not embezzled, but she took away so much money and blackmailed so much men. And the same thing she did to Andrew Tate and his brother. The same exact thing, the same exact way. And it's proven that she did this multiple times to multiple different men all across the globe. That woman should be in jail. A woman like that should be that's taking advantage of random people like Ben and using them, saying that I'm going to say you did this to me unless you give me what I want. Then those women should be the people that they should focus on.
We have secured and executed subpoenas and warrants, and we're going to continue to move forward with.
So subpoenas and warrants.
Subpoena and warrants on American taxpayer dollars. So now you have to figure out if all this is worth American taxpayer dollars, if there are crimes there, or they're going to just try to find crimes that was never there. Because if they would have found a crime, because he's been under scrutiny and all these things for years, he's been big for years. He was the most Googled man over Donald Trump and Kim Kardashian. I believe it was like 2-3 years ago. So he's been big. They been could have opened a case. Think about this. They been could have did this. This is not something that had to happen now. This could have happened a long time ago. Why all of a sudden, when he takes a plane ride to Florida, now all of a sudden, oh God, the boogeyman is here. We have to take the boogeyman down. He did bad things. He a bad person, and we cannot tolerate this.
Are those arrest warrants? Are there any type of warrant besides an arrest warrant? Are these guys about to be now in custody in the United States? and arrested? I don't know. This is some really interesting stuff.
Full force of law. This is an ongoing criminal investigation, and we're going to use every tool we have to ensure that justice is served.
Do you open a criminal investigation?
There is an active criminal investigation, yes.
Do you believe that can you give me any details of what?
I can't comment on a pending investigation, but what I can tell you is if these guys did criminal activity here in Florida, we will go after them with the full force of law.
So they're going to go after them. That's what's being said right now. Apparently, Andrew Tate is tweeting that the Matrix is attacking him. All right. I don't really know what to make of that. Matrix is attacking him. This is an interesting account. If you want the real details and the real facts about Candace Owens's affiliation with Andrew Tate, Andrew Tate's own repeated confessions, Murdered by Crayons has a fantastic feed of all of the legal precedent, of all the stuff that they're consistently lying about, them saying the charges in Romania have been dropped. They haven't been dropped because he says at one point they're dropped and then he says they're going back to Romania. I think Andrew Tate, unfortunately, is full of it. I think he broke the law. Maybe he didn't know he was breaking the law, but he definitely broke the law.
What was the law that he broke? That we need to find out. We need to figure out that law, because if that's a law, then a lot of people need to go to jail. If you talking to somebody and you finesse, let's call it finesse. If you could talk to a girl and you could finesse her to do something for you, whatever it is, but while doing something for you, she benefits off of it. So if I can convince a girl to say, hey, look, I want you to take these pictures. We're going to post these pictures on the internet. And she say, okay, I like you. So I want to make you happy. If that's the case, they want to go on. And I'm going to take these pictures. We're going to post these pictures on the internet. Okay. I post these pictures on the internet. The pictures make $1,000. Out of that $1,000, I give her, let's say if I was a piece of shit sleazeball, I give her $200. And she said, oh, I like this. $200, a lot of money. Okay. Post another picture. You can make even more than that. She continues to do it. She financially benefits over whatever it is. You can call him a sleazy businessman if he took the majority of the money or whatever it is. But whatever that money is, she accepted it. The same way as your employer, I can guarantee you if you make $100,000 a year, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year off of you. They're not going to just, there's no split when you have a boss, when you come to work for a company. It don't go like that. It's not like a 50-50 thing. No, you're going to work for this much and you're going to be this valuable to us, and that's what we're going to do. So, and keep in mind, this is grown women, right? These are adult women. So therefore, they can do as they please whenever they please.
According to the definition of what trafficking is, now he's having to deal with the consequences of it. He's blaming it on politics. Ron DeSantis is attacking me because he was worried I would support Byron Donalds over his wife, having known.
See, look, and that's another thing. That's another thing when people lie about. When you're talking about trafficking, if I talk to somebody, right? If I have a conversation with a woman in, let's just say, Jamaica, and me and her talking, and she say, "Oh, I want to come see you," and I'm like, "All right, I'll pay for your flight." That is technically trafficking her, because I moved her across state lines and I paid for her to come over here. That's being trafficked some type of way. If she comes out here and does even something that is perfectly legal, we're not talking about him taking chicks, putting them on the corner, saying go make that goddamn cash. We're talking about him telling girls to get in front of a camera, which you have to do. Like, it has to be a process in order for you to do that. And these people like this guy right here, he can't fathom the fact that women do this all the time. He can't fathom the fact that a woman will go out there and show herself, because he seems to come off extremely religious. And the problem with these people that's religious is that they don't understand that most of the world is secular. Most people in the world don't care about religion. Not most people. Most people in America do not care about religion anymore. So when you see a girl out there showing her tatas and her cheeks and all that stuff like that, that's normal. These guys still can't fathom that fact. They go on 60 years ago where women used to cover up and everything was like very innocent, even though it was hookers back then. But, they were very innocent. And, if they ever did something and somebody had to convince them to do it because they're so innocent and they're so sweet, they're not. They got sexy red, her vagina pink, her booty hole brown. That's the lyrics now. So therefore, it's like, that's the culture that we live in. And he's trying to say that No, there's no way women can do this. He had to convince these women that wasn't thinking this otherwise. How do you know that they wasn't thinking this otherwise? In a market where women do this all the time, this is very common to see a chick on OF, or if she's not even on OF or showing herself in some type of way, she's on Instagram being very seductive. Think about this. This is the world we live in. This is not far-fetched anymore. To the point, if you do see that, it's not like I can't believe she posted that. You don't even think of that. If you go on Instagram and you see cheeks or chest or whatever it is, you're not surprised. This doesn't surprise anybody.
Mental impact. They attacked me to prevent me from destroying his wife's political career. So it's like he's blaming this on a political thing. He's blaming this on the Matrix. Nevertheless, he is gonna have to deal with this now. Of course, folks on the right, not everybody on the right, but some folks I'm friendly with, like PBD, I think has unfortunately been running interference and allowing Tate to go on and say whatever he wants on his podcast. Folks like Candace Owens, folks like Tucker Carlson, completely caping for him and not allowing folks to actually present the issues with this dude. And legally, I'm not talking about masculinity. I'm all for masculinity. I'm all for empowering men to be protectors and providers. I think all that stuff is fine. It's the actual criminal components that are dangerous and problematic.
You just said something that was really, really bad. You basically said that a person should not be platformed. Although everybody can run stories in the media about him and say whatever they want to say about him, he shouldn't be platformed by certain people because he gets to say his side of the story. How does that make sense? I don't know if this guy calls himself a conservative, but that is not, no, he says he's with masculinity. You can't be conservative. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to say the door is open for a man like Andrew Tate to be scrutinized by the whole entire public, but cannot say nothing. And the people that give him platforms for him to defend himself, when you have a podcast like the PPD podcast, when you have a podcast like Candace Owens, or whoever platforms Andrew Tate, Tucker Carlson, whoever it is that says that you should be able to say your side of the story, what's the problem with that? And if you don't like him, don't like him. But what's the problem with somebody actually getting up and defending themselves?
In terms of the precedent that it's setting for young men. And I'm glad that if these things are true, which by all accounts it seems like they're true, that they're being dealt with legally. I
hate these guys, man. When these guys talk about the betterment of young men, it starts to aggravate me. Because the problems with young men, I could promise you, is not Andrew Tate. That is not the problem. In fact, the women that you're championing, all the hookers that allowed themselves to even get into that limelight, those are the problem when it comes to young men. The prawn industry is the problem with young men. And the same women that he's defending, that extremely saints, is going to be the problem with young men. The problem with young men is trying to find somebody and they can't find somebody because everybody just said that you need to do for them, and then you have no idea what those women are supposed to do for you. You have no clue as a young man. Imagine that. When you're a young man and you go outside and you want to go on a date and other women out there just looking to finesse you. When you're not as cool as what they want to call Andrew Tate because he has cars and money and stuff like that, nobody cares about you. That's the problem with young men. Andrew Tate is not the problem with young men. Is the fact that you tell young men that they should go get one girl, speak to one girl, bank your life on one girl, and then they go and do that and they get completely effed. Everybody is not religious, my friend. Everybody is not going to have your religion. In fact, I'll say it here, controversial statement, who cares? Women that are religious, it could be his woman, or whoever it is that are religious, the fact that they're there and they're decent with you is because they're religious. It's not because of you. It's not because you're a good man and you're strong and you're a protector and provider, all that. No. The only thing that separates her from the streets is God. Now, if you remove God out of these situations that this guy thinks, he thinks that this is the world is based on. If you remove God, your girl will be no longer yours. She will be for the streets. And that's the majority of women in America. They fight to be in the streets and not be under God. So when he said the problem with young men is people like Andrew Tate, no, that won't be the problem. You can argue that the problem with young men is not the lack in the belief of something in a higher power. Let's just call it a God. And then the women that follows that. Because under God, when you say, as you say, like this man is misogynistic, which I find crazy for conservatives to say, especially when you're religious, because religion itself is misogynistic. So how can you say and demonize somebody for being misogynistic when you follow a faith that is misogynistic, that by default says that a woman is under you? And everything that he spew out his mouth was extremely normal 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, all throughout time. It's not until now that you say, oh, he's misogynistic because he spoke to a woman and somehow made her or convinced her to go do something that he wanted her to do so she can benefit from it too. How is that possible? And then go and speak about a God, and when they say it's first is God, then it's man, then it's woman, then it's children. A woman is under a man is supposed to protect and provide for his woman because she belongs to him. That is religion.
And so this is all over the internet. I think Tate's going to have a complete meltdown over this again. This is a great resource if you guys want the actual facts about what's happening. There's now multiple countries, including the UK, the United States, and Romania, that have this dude under investigation. It's fair to say where there's smoke, there's fire. Here's a Bible tying
where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay.
Into all of this, and maybe you are a Christian, maybe you're not a Christian, but I think this is the heart of the matter here. Matthew 12, chapter 2. There is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What you have said in the dark will be heard in the daylight, and what you have whispered in the ear in the inner rooms will be proclaimed from the rooftop. What you have done in the dark will come to the light. Even if you're powerful, even if you're influential, even if you're handsome, even if you are connected to the right influencers who are going to run interference for you and do softball interviews and not actually deal with any of...
I'm going to end this one with this, because this is something that you have to realize, because humans are not that intelligent. Humans are really dumb, but we think we're smart. This is the reason why we have marketing. Companies spend billions of dollars on marketing. Why? Why would a company spend billions of dollars in marketing just to put something in front of your face if you control 100% of your decisions? The same way you can train a cat, like when you blow a kiss to a cat over and over, the cat comes. It's the same type of things that you can do to a human. They know if we put something in front of your face over and over and over again, you will start to believe it. If somebody screams a lot over and over and over again, it's kind of like the boy that cried wolf. Even the people at the end who didn't come because they're like, he's probably lying, somewhere in their body felt that he could be telling the truth this time. Nike doesn't even put a price on their ads. That's how powerful putting something in front of your face is. That Nike doesn't even put a price tag on it. They just let it go. Just put it in front of their face with a Nike symbol. And yes, they're one of the most profitable companies. How is that possible when they do not tell you the price of anything? It's because we know if we put it on people that's famous, and like Serena Williams, Drake, or any other basketball player like LeBron, and we know if we put it on them, don't put no price, you're going to want to do it because you want to be with the cool kids. That's marketing, because humans are dumb. And it works because they're a big company. And that's why they continue to spend billions of dollars on marketing. It doesn't mean that the person that they're talking about did whatever crime it was. It just means they just want everybody to know that person could have potentially did a crime. Because to have no crime, no idea, no witnesses, no nothing, and say that, yeah, we're going to get this guy. Yeah, I don't want, if you don't believe in Matrix attacks, fine.